Secret Quest was released by Atari on the Atari 2600 in 1989. It was one of the last games released on the console and had more ROM space than most 2600 games and 256 bytes of RAM. As a result, you get large maps, 8 full-scale levels, a variety of flicker-free sprites, and even a fucking password system to save your progress, something that was extremely rare for the console. In fact, Survival Island is apparently the only other game on the system to do so. Inspired by The Legend of Zelda, you explore various levels, or alien space stations to be more specific, by traversing from screen to screen, taking down aliens with your lightsaber-esque laser sword, wiping out aliens with the objective of blowing up the station and escaping before the actual explosion. You do this by reaching the self-destruct mechanism, but you have to enter a specific code, which you'll learn by finding clues in the other rooms. These weird-ass symbols have to be entered in a specific order to complete the code. It's a little weird navigating through these symbols with the joystick. You have to move to one side of the room to activate the symbol you want to change and then back out. It's not the most intuitive way to go about it, but for the limitations of the controller, it's understandable, and once you get the hang of it, you won't even think of it much. Plus, you won't be in a rush until you start the detonator. That's when you gotta get the hell out of there before the timer runs out and locate the teleporter that's off in another room somewhere. So you have to remember where to backtrack to while overcoming the pressure of the time-sensitive situation. So between the clues, the self-destruct device, and the teleporter, there's a lot of exploration to be had, especially as you advance through the game and the maps start to get bigger. In between all these objectives are the enemy aliens. They have slightly different patterns and speeds, but it's not entirely noticeable. They mostly just bounce around with the predictability of a moth. What separates them are their sprites, and there's a pretty wide variety of them. They sometimes take more hits to kill, but it's not really applied to specific enemies being tougher to kill than others. That part mostly seems to fluctuate from stage to stage. They'll all get more powerful as the game goes on. And some are worth more points to kill. But in a game like this, where there's a definitive goal to reach to beat the game rather than an arcade-style score as many points as you can before you die type of a game, who really cares about the points? They'll also drop items. These things will give you a small increase in energy, which is the amount of power you have in your weapon, and these O-tanks refill some of your oxygen tank, which slowly depletes over time. Once you run out, you're dead. Interestingly, the aliens can't kill you on their own. Your oxygen meter is essentially your health, and without any energy to kill aliens and grab oxygen refills, you're on borrowed time. You can upgrade your weapon to a sonic blaster and finally a particle beam, which give you longer range projectiles at increased speeds each. These stronger weapons do more damage, but they also use up more of your energy meter, so you might want to strategize on when to use these. You can toggle to the item menu by switching back and forth between the color and black and white mode. You have to access this menu to activate the keys that you find to open locked doors. That's right, I forgot to mention that these doors exist too. You might think that it's kind of lame that you have to go through the trouble of equipping the keys and pressing the fire button to open the doors, as opposed to just having the doors automatically open whenever you have the key in your inventory, but it's barely an inconvenience, and it justifies the existence of the item menu a little bit more, giving you more actual interaction with the game rather than having it too automated. The status screen shows what station you're on, what floor of the current station you're on, your equipped weapon or key, and the password for your current station, so you can pick up from where you left off. The controls are very responsive, it's easy to move around, and the combat, while simple, is very effective as well. It may not be as deep as the game it was trying to emulate, but you can get lost easily once the stages start really opening up. Different rooms are color-coded to help keep your sense of direction, but other than that, there's not a lot of distinction, so you're probably going to want to draw a map. Secret Quest got lost in the shuffle due to it being released in the same year that the goddamn Sega Genesis was released, but it's definitely worth checking out.